10 animals that disappeared due to humans. Throughout the history of the Earth, almost 99% of all species that have ever existed have disappeared. This figure sounds like something distant and abstract, as if we are talking about an ancient world that has nothing to do with us. However, the reality is much more alarming because many animals disappeared not millions of years ago, but quite recently, already at a time when people were building cities, traveling across oceans, and developing civilizations. The reasons for extinction can be different. Sometimes it is climate change, natural disasters, or diseases. But more and more often, humans play a key role. Mass hunting, deforestation, water pollution, destruction of habitats, all this gradually reduces the number of animals, until one day a species disappears completely. The most amazing thing is that many of these animals were incredible creatures. Some of them looked as if they came from another world. Others existed for millions of years and disappeared in just a few decades. Here are 10 animals that once lived on Earth and disappeared. 1. Woolly mammoth, giant of the Ice Age. Woolly mammoths were true giants of the Ice Age. They reached a height of 4 meters, and their weight could exceed 8 tons. Their entire body was covered with thick fur, and long curved tusks sometimes grew up to 4 meters. These animals lived alongside ancient humans. Moreover, archaeologists have found entire dwellings built from mammoth bones. People used their hides for clothing, meat for food, and bones for tools. One of the most interesting facts is that mammoths did not disappear immediately. After the main extinction, small groups continued to live for thousands of years. For example, on Wrangel Island, mammoths existed at roughly the same time as the pyramids were being built in Egypt. This means that when ancient civilizations already existed on Earth, mammoths were still walking the planet. Scientists believe that a combination of climate, warming, and hunting was one of the main reasons for the disappearance of these giants. Their usual habitat was disappearing, and pressure from humans only intensified the problem. 2. Dodo, the bird that knew no fear. The dodo is one of the most unusual birds that ever existed. It lived only on a single island, Mauritius, and had no natural predators there. Over time, the bird stopped flying and lost its fear of danger. When sailors first arrived on the island, they were amazed by the behavior of these birds. Dodos did not run away, did not try to defend themselves, and calmly allowed humans to approach. This made them easy prey. But the situation worsened when people brought other animals to the island. Pigs, rats, and monkeys began destroying the dodo's eggs. The birds built their nests directly on the ground, so their offspring were almost defenseless. Within a few decades, the species completely disappeared. Today, the dodo has become a symbol of extinction. It is often depicted in books and films as a reminder of how fragile nature can be. 3. Orox, ancestor of domestic cows. The European aurochs was a huge wild ox, considered one of the most dangerous animals of its time. Its horns could reach a meter in length, and its body was powerful and muscular. Aurochs lived over vast territories of Europe and Asia. They were so strong that even predators rarely dared to attack them. Interestingly, aurochs were often depicted in ancient cave paintings. This means that humans encountered them thousands of years ago. Over time, people began actively hunting aurochs, and their habitat gradually shrank due to agriculture. By the 16th century, aurochs remained only in a few regions of Eastern Europe. The last aurochs died in 1627. Today, all domestic cows are descendants of these extinct giants. 4. Epionis, a bird the size of a car. Epionis, or the elephant bird, was one of the largest feathered animals in history. Its height could reach 5 meters, and its weight more than half a ton. But the most amazing thing was the eggs. They were so huge that they could hold about 9 liters of liquid. That is roughly the equivalent of 150 chicken eggs. These birds lived on Madagascar and could not fly. When humans began settling the island, they started hunting the birds and taking the eggs. As a result, the population rapidly declined. By the 17th century, the giant birds had completely disappeared. 5. Steller's sea cow, disappeared in 27 years. Steller's sea cow was a huge marine animal, up to 10 meters long. It swam slowly near the coast and fed on seaweed. When humans first saw these animals, they noticed that sea cows were not afraid of people. They calmly approached boats and did not try to hide. People began actively hunting them for meat and fat. 27 years after its discovery, the species had completely disappeared. This is one of the fastest cases of extinction in history. These animals disappeared faster than anyone expected. Some existed for thousands, even millions of years, and then vanished within just a few decades. And the most surprising part is that we're only halfway through the list, because the next animals are even more shocking. One species once filled the sky with billions of birds. Another looked like a zebra, but only halfway. And one disappeared so recently that people who are alive today could have seen it. These stories change the way we think about extinction. They show how quickly the world around us can change, and how fragile life really is. If this video surprised you, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and allows us to keep creating videos like this. And in part 2, you'll see 5 more animals that humans drove to extinction, including one of the most unbelievable disappearances in modern history. See you in part 2!